President Trump had a speech today at the White House, and he also tweeted the speech on Twitter. So if you follow him on Twitter, I'm sure he posted it on Facebook too. He basically said, "Today, my administration is launching the most sweeping action in history to lower the price of prescription drugs for the American people. We will have tougher negotiation, more competition, and much lower prices at the pharmacy counter." So this is a very big statement from a very big guy, President Donald Trump, America's president, whether you like it or not. In this speech, he did what, Bernie Sanders wanted to do. He did what a lot of activists on the left want to do. So I do want to say, I hope that this is one of those situations where people could come from all sides and be like, congratulations, President Trump, for not being a total sellout. So he called out special interests. He called out the pharmacy lobby. He said that the pharmacy lobby spent $280 million last year, and that the pharmacy lobby spent more than the tobacco, oil, and defense contractors combined. He said he's getting rid of the middleman. He said, I don't know who the middleman is. They've been making a lot of money. You've been losing a lot of money. We're getting rid of him. He said health insurance companies spend $200 million to keep prices artificially high. He said everybody, the drug makers, the insurance companies, and government is responsible for these artificially high drug prices. We've been getting completely screwed. Don't even start me about health insurance. It's one of the things I'm pretty calm. I definitely lose my cool sometimes, but health insurance is definitely one of the places I lose my cool, because I pay every month for health insurance, and then I pay when I go to the doctor, and then they charge me full price, and then they charge me full price on the medicine, and then they mail me something months later, and I got all these mail for more. It's like they charge me every step of the way. I can't stand health insurance, but this is really, really good news, and this is something that people don't understand about President Trump if they're in this like delusional, oh my God, he's a billionaire and he's just trying to enrich his friends. It's just not true, folks. Him being a billionaire means something very important when it comes to this issue, which nobody that hates him seems to want to talk about. He's not owned and sold out by the pharmacy industry. He's completely changed the game. He actually banned foreign lobbying permanently. He banned domestic lobbying. He did all this stuff right when he got into office, but the news will never talk about it because the news is basically sold out to special interests. So they're not going to tell you, hey, President Trump's not as big as a sellout that I am, because then it would make them look goofy and dumb because they're so fake and sold out. And every politician, I want to say, this is something I can really give credit to Bernie Sanders as well. Although I don't agree with what he's been saying recently and his policies, he said he wasn't sold out by the pharmacy industry, and he was talking about lobbyists. President Trump is exactly the same, so it should unite us, because President Trump and Bernie Sanders, whether you like Bernie or not, he annoys me a lot now, but they changed the game of how politicians act. Before then, it was just sellout corporate-style politicians, and you have someone on the Democratic Party completely destroy the Democratic Party, and then you have President Trump completely destroy the Republican Party. So everybody was taking money from the pharmacy industry. Cory Booker did one of the most disingenuous posts ever. He was like, hey guys, you could look it up if you don't believe me. He was like, along the lines of like, I'm going to stop taking money from the pharmacy industry now because I realized that people don't want that, and I'll probably pick up later and take it when people stop paying attention. That was like basically the message. I'm like, who is this guy? Even Tulsi Gabbard, one of my favorite Democrats who I think keeps it realer than most, she was taking money from the pharmacy lobbyists or other lobbyists, and she had to announce earlier this year, I'm not going to take money from the pharmacy lobbyists anymore. So President Trump totally changed the game, and you'll never hear this on CNN. You'll never hear this on MSNBC. You'll never hear this on pseudo-intellectual hip-hop like blogger, oh, I'm a political activist now because I hate Donald Trump. You'll never hear this on anybody who just complains and hate all the time. Donald Trump being a billionaire and not having to take money from the pharmacy industry is a huge step up, because we were getting absolutely destroyed by the pharmacy industry. Obamacare was destroying us with prices, okay? The pharmacy industries and then the middleman, and they were literally just exploiting us and nobody cared. Why did no other politicians before Donald Trump do anything? Because they were all taking money from the pharmacy industry. Like Trump said, everyone complains about oil and defense contractors, rightfully so. Our whole country basically runs on the oil industry and defense contractors. I mean, half of our taxes go straight to the military-industrial complex. But pharmacy lobbyists spend more money than all of those combined. So they've been literally buying out our politicians. And this is like the main point. Above any sort of policy preference that I don't understand why people don't get, even if they hate Donald Trump with all of their heart, it's not going to make a change. Like, people think, oh, Donald Trump is so mean and he's grabbing people and he's so angry. He's the return of Hitler. But they don't realize, like, do you even know who Obama was? Do you know who Hillary was? Do you know who all the Republicans, John McCain and Paul Ryan, they're all sold out. They were all a bunch of sellouts. That was cool. That was standard. That was normal. There wasn't a single politician in Washington that wasn't taking money from lobbyists, and mostly pharmacy money because they spend the most money on lobbying. So the reason your drug prices were growing up, the reason you're getting screwed with health insurance is because all of the politicians were working against you. And even progressive media, I critique them constantly because they can't fathom like right-wing policies. They can't fathom low taxes and more freedoms and personal liberties, so they have to say, Donald Trump's a billionaire and he's trying to enrich their friends. No, it's the exact opposite. Politicians go into Washington and they have no money. So they have to be political prostitutes. They have to suck on the teats. Excuse me if that's not, uncalled for. I just couldn't think of another term for it now. And they're just like political prostitutes, you know? They just take money from everybody. So you have people like the Clintons and the Obamas, they go into politics broke and they come out with $50, $100, $200, $300 million. Where do you think they got all that money from? They got it from taking money from other people to literally exploit you and never do what the people actually want. They're taking money from the pharmacy industry. They're taking money from every lobbyist. And then the news, oh, the NRA is owned by Russia. It's like, what are you talking about? They don't spend 1/50th of the money as the pharmacy industry. So the exact opposite story is true. President Trump being a billionaire is actually a huge plus because he doesn't take money from lobbyists, and now the game is forever changed, so no matter who's president from now on, they're never going to go back. Kind of like Kanye West or Anomaly or Donald Trump. I'm not saying I'm on that level, but like, we're breaking the matrix, so we can never go back. You can complain, you could cry, you could hate me, you could hate Kanye West, you could hate Trump, but we're never going back to the slave ship, okay? We're never going back to this illusion where people speak to us nice, but they're really just going behind closed doors. I mean, it was literally admitted in the Hillary emails that she has a public policy and a private policy. But people are so fake in our society. They're like, lie to me, politicians. I love it when you say nice words to me. And then you turn around and you go right to the pharmacy industry and you exploit me and raise my prices and put a nice little name on things. You say, oh, affordable health care. Just because the name is affordable health care doesn't mean it's actually affordable. They always just lull you to sleep. So Donald Trump comes through, bam, I'm a billionaire. Yeah, I have a lot of money. Guess what that means? I'm not taking money. And all the other politicians are nervous now because they're like, oh no, now I'm not allowed to take money. Like, this was my whole thing. I was broke and I went into politics because I'm a loser. I'm not saying all politicians are losers. I like Rand Paul, and I'm sure there's a lot of good people in there as well. But they're like, oh, I came here for money. So now, I can't get money. The whole story is skewed. It's not like Trump's enriching himself. Trump is losing money. You could look on the Forbes list. He went down. Trump was a billionaire, not taking money from lobbyists, losing money. Other politicians are political sellout prostitutes, taking a bunch of money to exploit you and gaining wealth. So the news will never tell you that, but the exact opposite's true. So Trump calling out special interests, calling out the pharmacy lobby, calling out the drug industry, calling out the government, calling out health insurance companies. I mean, this is a huge deal, and they claim, we'll see, like I said, actions speak to me louder than words. Unlike a lot of people, they like to be lied with the words. They're like, you could jump off a cliff, but as long as you tell me I'm getting a banana sandwich, I think that's good. I don't care about words. Words don't bother me. I care about actions. So this is great. They claim that it's the most sweeping action in history to lower the price of prescription drugs for the American people. And I believe them because I truly believe from the bottom of my heart and the bottom of my soul, and from actions that I'm watching, not just words and emotions and fake news and depressed people who act like they're activists, and these negative Nancys who have the most pessimistic view on the world, and they're just privileged, riding around in Ubers and, ordering delivery food and crying that they're oppressed. I don't listen to all of that. I pay attention to what's going on. And I am convinced Donald Trump is the president of the people. Is he perfect? Is he gonna match every policy that you have? If you're left wing and you want socialism, or you want this or that. No, he's like your dad who tells you what you don't want to hear. He might make you feel bad, but you're a 5-year-old and you need to hear the wisdom and knowledge from your grown-ups. So, I mean, he just tells it like it is. He's not sold out. This is the first time in history we haven't had a sellout president. That's why you got $1 billion reversal in Syria. Regardless of what you think he's doing with Syria and Iran, he's shifting the course, altering the course of the military-industrial complex. Is he changing everything? Is he destroying the financial system? No, I'm not saying he's Jesus Christ resurrected, that he's going to free the whole world and it's going to be a utopian society, because Donald Trump can't make it a utopian society. We have to do that. And we act like, oh, if there were no politicians, everybody's perfect. No, I mean, walk out on the street. If you live in a city, everybody's not perfect. We're going to have to change too. It's not just we can blame everyone's problems and, oh, the world's going to be perfect now because Donald Trump's gone. Of course it's not. We have millions of people that need to be better people as well. But he is altering the course of history. I mean, this guy's a revolutionary. Kanye knows it. I know it. Roseanne knows it. Tim Allen probably knows it, but doesn't want to talk about it. He's got his new show coming back. It's a great show, Last Man Standing. But, this is a really good thing, and I really hope that people that are left-wing activists and people that hate Trump will start to come around and, realize, because my big beef with, I don't want to call out names now. I'm always calling out people. I want to be nice today. But there's progressive people who are like, Donald Trump's just a billionaire who doesn't care about anybody. It's like they have to say that because unless there's socialist policies, nothing's good for them. But he's totally not. He's totally not a sellout. I mean, yes, he's not going to make every move that you want him to do. He's not going to do everything in the Middle East that you want him to do. I'm not saying he's perfect, but he is a revolutionary. He is not tied down to the lobbyist. He is changing the game, I mean, completely. And if he goes through with this and really does lower pharmacy prices, this is one of my biggest pet peeves. So I'm very excited about it, if you could tell. The pharmacy industry and the health industry bothers me, just like it bothers a lot of people, because we're getting scammed. We have the worst of both systems right now. We have a pseudo fake, whatever the stuff is now. I don't know. I just can't stand it because they just charge me up the what, and I never get any savings. But it's a very, very big deal, and we've been getting exploited. We've been getting lied to. So now that we have Wrecking Ball Donald Trump in there to really negotiate with the drug industries and negotiate with the health industries, I think this is going to be a huge step up for our wallets and our health care. And I hope that we get good health care, better priced drugs, and everybody can really come around and be like, okay, this guy, maybe he's not that bad. Maybe he's really not a sellout. Maybe he is the president of the American people. Maybe he is focused on doing stuff that no other politician before him ever would even dream of doing because they were taking money from the pharmacy industry. So